Happy Friday, everybody. It is the Punisher here, and what a spectacular night last night was. For those that saw me on the surprise podcast, we had a wonderful time. It was only about 21 minutes, but it was just a surprise Thursday live podcast. So, again, hope everybody enjoyed that, and I hope everybody watched the Wednesday Hump Day drop because there was some amazing news. So, if you haven't gotten up to speed on that, be sure you watch it. There was a new operation introduced, okay? Harris, still out there, changing her tune, flip-flopping back on some of the issues. We'll get more into that. Meanwhile, President Trump was in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. By all accounts, that was one wonderful rally. And so with these two candidates, President Trump, Vice President Harris, national polls show them running neck and neck at 49% each. But pay attention to those swing states, and particularly pay attention to things like the market. It is an exceptional time, if you can, to consider purchasing gold or silver. As you know, the Punisher is sponsored by National Gold Group. So call America's own precious metals company, the National Gold Group, today and mention the Punisher's channel, and you'll always get best-in-class service from America's conservative precious metals leader. National Gold Group has the IRA fee waiver program for qualifying rollovers, so call 888-598-9909 and get a free investor's guide today. National Gold is Consumer Affairs' top-rated gold IRA dealer, so call 888-598-9909. Again, that's 888-598-9909. Welcome back, everybody. And since we were talking about President Trump at the rally in Harrisburg, have you seen the new ad? I'm going to go ahead and include the ad and just let you listen to it. Be right back.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
This is America's border czar, and she's failed us. Under Harris, over 10 million illegally here. 250,000 Americans dead from fentanyl. Brutal migrant crimes. And ISIS now here.
Do you have any plans to visit the border? You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. I mean, I don't understand the point that you're making.
Kamala Harris, failed, weak, dangerously liberal.
That was something. You can see the level of flip-flopping that she's doing. So wasn't it great news to see some of these Americans freed? Look, anytime Americans are freed, we will always say we are thankful. Now, the timing of that and the people that they turned over for that, well, it's become sort of commonplace now to give up some baddies in exchange for our hostages. It sucks, but I tell you what, I will never go to Russia, and I'll never go to the Middle East again, okay? I feel like I'd be picked up immediately and charged with some phony crime. Got some coffee right here. So, of course, there were 4 released. 3 were Americans. 1 was a green card holder, the Wall Street journalist Evan Gershkovich, and a former Marine, Paul Whelan, who's been there nearly 6 freaking years. And then there was another American journalist, I'm reading here because I got to get the pronunciation right, Alsu Kermashiva, and a green card holder, Vladimir Kara-Murza. Okay? So we welcome them back to the United States, and of course, the media couldn't help but try and bash Trump because he said, I'd get them guys back. Well, one of them, of course, Mr. Whelan, has been there for a good while, but the other 3 were taken during the Biden administration. But I did take the liberty of looking up some of the releases while President Trump was in office. In November 19, Trump administration secured the release of American Kevin King and Australian Timothy Weeks, who were being held by the Taliban. That's 2. In December 2019, the U.S. did a prisoner swap with a graduate student from Princeton. That's 3. In July of 2020, Trump administration secured the release of Michael White, a Marine veteran jailed in Iran. In December 2020, the U.S. did a prisoner swap with a graduate student from Princeton. That's 3. In July of 2020, Trump administration secured the release of Michael White, a Marine veteran jailed in Iran. In December 2020, the U.S. did a prisoner swap with a graduate student from Princeton. That's 3. In July of 2020, Trump administration secured the release of Michael White, a Marine veteran jailed in Iran. on charges of insulting the country's supreme leader. Well, here's to that country's supreme leader. Go F yourself. In exchange for the release of a dermatologist convicted on export violations. Okay, that's 5, right? Am I count right? And in October of 2020, a deputy assistant to Trump, which means it was under the Trump administration, brokered a deal to free 2 Americans being held hostage by Iran. Actually, that's a total of 6. So, why we couldn't secure Mr. Whelan? Well, sometimes it's more difficult. Meanwhile, did you know there's like 8 others out there? But anyway, so congrats to those. They're back with their families. Now, Secret Service Director, the new guy, what's his name? Howe. The latest from a whistleblower is that he may have actually contributed to reducing some of the staff that are responsible for assessing the site locations, and doing the threat assessment and all that kind of stuff. That's interesting, very interesting, because he came off very hard-nosed, and in some cases a little revealing, and of course some cases not. This thing just keeps, news comes out every single day. It was a freaking disaster, and we should be very thankful that President Trump turned his head. Gosh, we should have a turn our heads ceremony. Ready? And okay. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes, to show our how thankful we are. Wow. So those that watched the Wednesday drop would have heard that Operation T-24 got an extension, and by that I mean a word. Operation T-24 Steadfast 4.5, because we must remain steadfast. And of course, Operation Sleestack 1.0, all of which sit upon the foundation of Aurora. I don't really need to say Aurora anymore, because everybody knows that is the foundation. But Operation Sleestack 1.0, you probably saw the little meme of the Punisher out there wearing his Sleestack hat. If not, go see it on X, or just see it behind my head. And Operation Sleestack hereby moves to 2.0 on this Friday, just because of the aggressive pace in which it is moving along. So, you know it, I know it, the American people know it. Steadfast, remain steadfast, get ready for it. We're down to under 100 days until the election. Remember to get your absentee ballot if you should need one. Remember to get your mail-in ballot if you should need one. Otherwise, plan to be there in rain, sleet, or snow and get that ballot cast. You know it. I do know it. The American people know it. And Scrooge James by the Bulger will talk to you later. Bye.